Welcome to battle number 2 of week number 6 of the FNF Seafoam Isles Draft League. I'm your host, Lion Hugs, and I'll be commentating this live match between Colin of the Pennsylvania Porygon-Zs versus Joe of the Atlanta Talonflames. Before we continue, let's go ahead and review the Mega and Z Pokemon making appearance. On Colin's corner, we have Mega Lopunny, as well as Z Any Togekiss and Z Attack Scrafty. And on Joe's corner, we have Mega Sceptile, as well as Z Attack Como. Now, before we go ahead and get started, let's just go over some quick initial thoughts, and we can let these players begin. This looks like both sides have chosen very strong, sort of tanky Pokemon to kind of fight each other. I do see Como as well as Metagross, both of which can take some pretty decent hits and dish out that punishment, especially if that's a banded Metagross. Not to mention also the sheer power behind Mega Sceptile, Drapion, Jolteon. These are all really strong, mixed like physical hitters, mixed special hitters. And other than Jolteon, I think most of these can take at least a hit from either physical or special, depending on their stats. Likewise, on Colin's team, we have Cresselia and Togekiss being really big, bulky, sort of clerics, potentially. Cresselia being one of those Pokemon that can have a kind of a wide variety of movesets. Obviously, Mega Lopunny is also a very strong, fast, heavy attacker. Probably going to be a prime target for Joe. Not to mention Scrafty, with its own little bag of tricks. But anyway, I'm more than excited to go ahead and begin. So let's do that. This track is a remix of Lysander's theme from Pokemon XY, but this remix is from Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I've never actually heard this before. This is amazing. I don't really remember Lysander too well, but the music is good. Anyway, out comes Chainchomp the Como and Rajang the Darmanitan. Sorry. That's what to call it, a Porygon. Soon Chainchomp might be here to set up a Stealth Rock or a Dragon Dance? Not sure. Though he's starting off with a Dragon, it's probably gonna force Colin to switch out to someone else. Potentially Togekiss. And out comes Rajang's U-turn, pivoting out to Cresselia. Cresselia takes that Boom Burst, only takes about 27% health, and recovers due to leftovers. And out comes the first Z move of the match. Chainchomp uses Clanger's Soul Blaze, brings Empress down by 51%, however all its stats are raised. And Empress responds with a Thunder Wave. That paralysis chance might be really critical to taking out Chainchomp, or at least hindering its firepower. And ooh, a Moonlight, as well as another Boom Burst from Chainchomp. Looks like Chainchomp is struggling to get past Empress, and Empress has set up Calm Mind. A Flamethrower does less damage, especially after the special defense raise, and a Moonlight goes through. And unfortunately, Chainchomp is paralyzed. This is not looking good for Joe. One Moonblast brings Chainchomp down to 8%, and Chainchomp is still paralyzed. And another Moonblast goes through and takes out Chainchomp. Probably the best move considered for Joe to do there. I wonder, I'm assuming that means there's no clerics or no ways to heal from the status, so Colin's free to Thunder Wave anybody else who's a big threat. And out comes AJ the AJ the Scrafty using Intimidate on Scorpio. Scorpio responds with a knockoff to remove AJ's Assault Vest. That'll make it much easier to take out later on, possibly Jolteon. El Tigre, the Landorus Therian, comes out and intimidates AJ, lowers its Ice Punch effectiveness. That was a good read on Colin. Fortunately, that lower attack stage kept El Tigre in the match. Unfortunate for Colin, fortunate for Joe. After some very explosive first 10 turns, looks like our opponents are weighing their options. So long as AJ doesn't have Sucker Punch, I do believe El Tigre can potentially take out AJ. Unless Joe's trying to save Landorus for something else. Possibly Darmanitan as well. Potential to U-turn to Drapion could also be useful. Out comes Empress to Cresselia to take an Earthquake. Very good read on Colin's part, given Empress's Levitate. And El Tigre is switched out for Scorpio, who takes that Thunder Wave. Now comes Scrafty, and who intimidates Scorpio, but not before getting knocked off. However, AJ's item has already been knocked off. AJ responds with a knockoff, reading Joe's switch to Metagross. And Knockoff has removed Steven's Ace's Life Orb. I love Metagross, but things are not looking good for them right now. And a Bullet Punch only does about 22% damage, and a Drain Punch finishes off of Steven's Ace and allows AJ to recover. The score is 6-4. Things are really looking tough for Joe at the moment. Getting past Cresselia and Scrafty seems very difficult. And out comes a Rock Slide. Empress shrugs it off pretty comfortably and recovers from some leftovers. Out comes Thunderstruck the Jolteon to take that Moonblast. Decently high special defense. It looks like it's holding a Flame Orb. Nice use by Joe, as Thunderstruck can't be paralyzed by Cresselia's Thunder Wave. But will it be enough to break through Empress's sheer bulk? Thunderstruck uses a Shadow Ball. While it's super effective, it only does 30% damage. However, Empress responds with a Calm Mind. Thankfully, Thunderstruck was lucky in lowering the special defense. Can it get lucky again? Decides not to, and goes for the Volt Switch. I wonder who will come out. Looks like Jukain, the Sceptile, comes out. Ooh, Empress responds with another Calm Mind. Her special defense is raised by 1, and her special attack is raised by 2 stages. I wonder how Jukain will respond. I'm not sure how to say that. Jukain, Jukin. Looks like Joe's trying to run some calculations to see if potentially Mega Sceptile's Leaf Blade can take out Empress. Ooh, and Zed goes for the Grass Whistle. Interesting move. And Empress is asleep, can no longer do anything with that stat boosts. A Dragon Pulse is not enough to take down Empress. Empress wakes up in response to a Moonblast. Jukan is holding on by 3% health. And Joe can try to go for the Grass Whistle one more time. But we'll see. The fact that it used Dragon Pulse makes you wonder if Joe ever had Leaf Blade to begin with. Grass Whistle goes through once again. Will that sleep stay? Excuse me. And as Colin mentions in the chat, that's a move that has 55% accuracy. Very bad luck with a sleep going only for one turn, but good luck that it hit twice in a row. It's kind of rare. Another Dragon Pulse. Interesting moveset, and Empress wakes up again and uses Moonlight. Empress is now back to full HP. This is the first time Grass Whistle has missed, and Jukain is down due to that Moonblast. This may be win conditions. Very strange luck going on for Colin. 2 times falling asleep, 2 times waking up in one turn. The key is, how will Thunderstruck respond? I'm assuming he'll Volt Switch. Can anybody take a Moonblast comfortably? I don't think so. Shadow Ball does 22% damage, while another Calm Mind goes through. That Colin and Empress, very strong team. Very hard to get past that Empress. And the burn damage takes out Thunderstruck, but the kill most likely will go to Empress due to it being the last damage Pokemon. Last Pokemon to damage Thunderstruck. Anyway, out comes Scorpio, the paralyzed Scorpio. Takes another Moonblast, and unfortunately Paralysis prevents him from making a move. Another Moonblast takes it out. Joe is down to his last Pokemon. Eldigra intimidates Empress, but doesn't seem to matter at this point. And counters with a Rock Slide. Doesn't do much damage, and Empress takes out Eldigra. And wow, good game. That was very quick, very fast. I can see why both sides seem to have brought really bulky Pokemon to deal with the other's threats. But Calm Mind's Empress was just impossible to break through. Between Empress and Scrafty, that pretty much cinched it for Colin. This isn't to say that it was a particularly easy win, but Colin is very good at making tactical decisions. Not to mention coming up with a really good strategy. Again, Calm Mind's Empress would be really tough to break through. I'm assuming that was going to be Serene Grace, Togekiss. Also would have been hard to break through with all the flinches. Especially after assuming Empress got to Thunder Wave everybody. Just a really tough team to fight. And a very satisfying battle to commentate. Sometimes it actually would happen so fast I couldn't even comment it on time. An amazing track to go ahead and accompany us too. Very dramatic, very explosive. Just like this battle. Anyway, please stay tuned for more Week 6 battles of the FNF Seafoam Isles Draft League. I'm your coach, Lionhug, signing off. Bye-bye.